So what's up, guys? I just thought I would sit there and tell you about what's been going on in the last year. So for the last 7 years, I've been mainly a portrait photographer. I've done weddings, cars, all sorts of things, families. But about a year ago, I decided to jump into the time-lapse game. I've always loved time-lapse. They're very fascinating. I've always enjoyed just watching them, and I decided I was going to make my own time lapses. So what I did was I started going around in and around downtown Houston and getting sunsets and buildings and traffic and all the things that make time lapses really, really super nice. And while I was doing that, I actually ran into a guy. He just asked me what I was doing, and I said, "Hey, I'm just making a time lapse movie, my first time lapse movie." And he's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I own a glass company that's doing a skyscraper a few blocks from here. Come check it out with me." So we went, and I went and checked it out with him, and realized that it was old Texaco building, old oil company building. The cool thing about that is my dad worked at that building. So as a child, I used to go in it, and my dad was an attorney there. So it was really cool. I would go to work with him like a couple times a year and just hang out. So to make a long story short, what they're doing with the building is making it into apartment homes, and he wanted someone to get the transition from the old oil company building to the new, condo apartment home building. So for about 7 months, I was able to really practice on time lapses because that's what I was doing every day. And it was hot, and I learned so many things. It was about working in dusty environments, working in extremely hot environments, dark environments. It was probably the best 7 months of learning that I could have, especially on the job experience, as far as shooting time lapses. Well, while this was happening, a good friend of mine, Joseph, who is one of the sales trainers for Houston for Sony, asked me to come and hang out on a 2-day event that they were doing just to talk about time lapses and photography and everything like that. And I did. And I took a couple shots that I had been working on. Now, these shots were, well, actually, it was actually a clip. It wasn't some shots. It was a whole clip, about a 2-minute clip. And while I was shooting the Texaco building, I got permission to get on a 60-story skyscraper that's being built in downtown Houston. And while I was up there, I was able to capture them putting the windows into the skyscraper, which is something I've always wondered. How do they put windows into, especially an all-glass skyscraper? So what I ended up doing was getting that while I was shooting the other building. It's always good to have two cameras, and it worked out really, really well because this footage has allowed me to do some really cool things, and you're going to see why here pretty soon. So what Joseph did was he liked my Houston After Dark so much that he sent it to a friend of his at Sony headquarters, who's the manager of information for all products. His name is Philip. And what Philip did was he saw it and he really liked it and asked me to meet him in Dallas. And I think it was in September. And he wanted me to bring all my time lapses that I had done to that point. Well, luckily, my buddy Eric is sitting there sending me stuff. Okay. Anyway, make a long story short, grabbed all my hard drives. It was about 4 terabytes of photos, and then the time-lapse movies. Drove to Dallas, showed it to him, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna send you a hard drive, and I want you to put all this in the hard drive." So he sent me a hard drive. I put all the information. I sent him all the files, individual files, the raw files, and the video files, and sent them to him. Waited about a month, and he calls me back and he says there are 2 clips that we want to use for promoting our new HDR TVs and DI, which is the camera side, wants to use them and everything else. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing since I've only been doing this for a short amount of time. And so that led to me signing a contract where they're allowed to use the footage both stateside and international. So it's almost April, in the month of April, the footage will be rolling out worldwide, and it's 2 clips. One's what is it? One clip is like the Grand Canyon, Maroon Bells, a bunch of other pretty places. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the title for it is. But the other one is a lot of the stuff that I did downtown, which is amazing. You'll get to see dump trucks dumping stuff. It's kind of like if you're how little boys like playing with trucks and getting dirty and construction and all that. It's like a total awesome construction. It also includes those windows going into the skyscraper, which is really neat. So those 2 clips will be shown they will be put on the Sony TV. So if you walk into a Best Buy or any electronics store, you will see 2 of my clips running to show off the how awesome this, and it's also shot on Sony, so it's good. So how awesome the Sony camera is, but for making time lapses, and how awesome the HDR TVs are, which is another thing. He was at Sony Studios a couple weeks ago to learn the process of making them HDR. So not only will I have these clips, and it's cool because I'll be able to sell them to whoever I want to. Not only will the clips be showing nationwide and worldwide, but it also has my name at the end of it, and it says go to my website, Enigma Photos. So that should be great for promotion, amazing for promotion. In fact, that's the most unbelievable promotion, because people will see my name associated with my clips, and my clips will be worldwide, which is phenomenal. It will also be having HDR footage. There will be HDR files that I will be also able to sell, because they were done by Sony Studios. So that's pretty phenomenal as well. So I don't know if there are a lot of people out there that have studio grade HDR footage, but I will have true HDR footage done by Sony Studios, which is amazing. So from starting a year ago when I didn't even know what the hell I was doing to now, it's kind of mind-boggling. So what I'm going to be doing in the next couple weeks is giving back. So I have all those clips that I've worked on, and what I'm going to do is make individual videos showing how I achieve the look. So you'll see the raw files, you'll see how I take the raw files, play with the raw files, make them look a certain way, then put them into LR time lapse, get that going, and then boom, I have a awesome time lapse that's been just work together and looks really cool, and I'm going to show you my process of doing that. Also, with Sony, we've already submitted 3 places to go, about to submit a 4th, to even shoot more time lapses. So they're going to send me equipment, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to shoot time lapses, and they're going to make videos of it, and then there's supposed to be a video that I'll be doing with the studio, which will combine our processes, so you can see how a time lapse can go from being shot to being HDR'd and final product. We're also going to try to work in some drone footage of that. So what I basically wanted to say is, what we're going to do with this channel is I'm going to show you pretty much every step of travel, shooting, planning, execution of everything on a grand scheme. So you're going to get all aspects of it, because too many times photography is, hey, let's just show you this camera and show you how neat the pictures are, and it doesn't show you everything else that goes into it. There's a business aspect, there's promotion aspect, there's planning, there's when you're a photographer, you wear 1,000 hats, just like a business owner. When you first start your business, you're HR, you're finance, you're marketing, you're all those things. And I want to show you how all those culminate into a career. And it's a lot of stuff to do, and it can be very, very time consuming. So that's where I want to go with the YouTube channel. So within the next couple of weeks, we'll be planning the trip. The first trip should be to Washington, D.C. Phil's really excited about that. I'm excited about that. Everybody's seen House of Cards. I like the time lapse in the beginning, but let's see if we can do something a little bit more fun with it. and all this footage is going to be used. And I'm going to show you the cameras that I'm using, how I use them, the setup, why I like a certain area, because live stream is great for that. So I'll be using this. This is a great tool that I can actually do that, and then I can come back and make the videos of showing you how I edit it. So with those two tools combined, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I've been so excited about live streaming on YouTube coming out just for this fact, because it'll allow me to speak to you every day. Like when we have enough people, I have no problem coming in 2 to 3 times a week, even more if need be, and answering questions, what you have about photography and things like that. So I just wanted to give you a heads up where I've been, what I've been doing, what's coming in the future. Some pretty exciting stuff coming in the future. And I will talk to y'all in a few days. Have a good weekend.